You feel invisible. People talk over you. Decisions happen around you. You adjust. You nod. You smile. You let it slide. Then you go home wondering why no one takes you seriously. Here's the part you won't like. You trained them to. At some point, being easy kept you safe. So you softened your opinions, lowered your voice, agreed when you disagreed. It worked until it didn't. And now you're confused why no one sees you. That's not cruelty. That's math. Stay with me. I'll show you how you built this and how to undo it without becoming loud, fake, or aggressive. You think people overlook you. No. They learned how far they can go with you. And you taught them. Watch what you do. You're in a meeting. You start explaining an idea. Halfway through, someone interrupts. You pause. You tell yourself, it's fine. Later, he repeats your idea. Slightly clearer, slightly louder. Everyone nods. And you think, wow, leadership. No, that's projection. You smiled. You let it go. That moment wasn't random. It was data. You laugh at jokes that annoy you. You say, all good, when it's not. You say, I don't mind, when you absolutely do. You disagree, but you soften it. You start sentences with, I could be wrong, as if you're legally required to apologize for existing. Before anyone reacts to you, you correct yourself. You shrink first. Do that long enough, and people stop bracing for you. They stop checking your reaction. They stop calculating around you. Not because they hate you, but because they know you won't push back. Early Sung Jinwoo didn't just stand in rooms full of stronger hunters. He stood there knowing he was the weakest. E rank, the guy people whispered about. If Jinwoo's on the team, it must be an easy dungeon. In the first episode, he stabs a goblin and the blade shatters. Not metaphorically, actually shatters. That moment matters because it's not just weakness, it's humiliation. He's bleeding on the dungeon floor while higher ranks keep fighting. And what does he say? I'm used to it. That line is dangerous. Because when you get talked over, when someone steals your idea, when someone subtly sidelines you, you don't protest. You think, I'm used to it. And once you're used to being small, people get used to treating you that way. Jinwoo wasn't treated like the lowest rank because he lacked potential. He was treated like the lowest rank because that's how he presented himself. And if there's no resistance, there's no weight. You don't get rejected, you get bypassed. You don't get shut down, you get overlooked when it matters. You become reliable. Reliable doesn't lead, reliable fills gaps. You become the ergonomic chair of the office, replaceable. And here's the uncomfortable truth. People don't test the strongest person in the room. They test the safest. Think about a group project. There's always that one person who says, whatever you guys want is fine. Guess who's finishing the slides at 11:48 p.m.? Not because they're weak, but because they volunteered to be moved. You call it keeping the peace. But sometimes peace is just delayed resentment. You didn't choose this on purpose. You learned it. Maybe growing up, conflict meant trouble. Maybe speaking up got you corrected. Maybe being easy made people praise you. You're so mature. You're so chill. You're so easy to work with. So your brain logged it. Easy equals approval. Easy equals safety. Easy equals connection. Now, fast forward. Different room, different stakes, same wiring. Someone interrupts you. Your chest tightens. Tiny spike. Your brain whispers, smooth it. So you do. The tension disappears. Relief. Your body rewards you. That relief is addictive. Behavioral psychology calls this reinforcement. But here's the twist. Growth always feels like danger first. The first time you say, I'm not okay with that, your heart will race. Your palms will sweat. You'll think, I just ruined everything. You didn't. You disrupted the pattern. And disruption feels like danger when you've trained everyone to expect silence. Here's the part you won't like. You don't hate being invisible. You hate the risk of being inconvenient. You weren't trying to disappear, you were trying to stay safe. Remember the Kartanon Temple? The massive statues? The commandments carved into stone? Bow before God. Everyone who panicked died. Everyone who ran died. The only way to survive? Kneel. And Jinwoo kneels. Because in that moment, kneeling keeps him alive. Now here's the connection. At some point in your life, shrinking kept you safe. Staying quiet avoided punishment. Agreeing avoided conflict. Smoothing tension avoided rejection. Your nervous system learned, bow first, avoid threat. And just like Jinwoo, you built that response in a high-stress environment. The problem is, he eventually left the temple. You didn't. You're still kneeling in rooms that no longer require it. Your brain still thinks disagreement equals danger. But there are no statues firing lasers at you. There's just silence. Later in the series, Jinwoo stops explaining himself. Someone questions him. Old version would rush to justify. New version, he answers once, stops. The silence stretches. No one explodes. No one attacks. He just stands there, and the room recalculates. The difference? He can tolerate discomfort. But when you anesthetize every room you enter, you numb your own presence. Short-term relief, long-term invisibility. That's the trade. After Jinwoo survives the double dungeon, the system appears. A blue notification window floats in front of him. Player has met the requirements. He's given daily quests, penalties, stat increases. Leveling isn't glamorous. It's repetitive, uncomfortable, disciplined. That's growth. You don't wake up confident. You complete micro quests. Finish your sentence. Stat +1. Hold eye contact. Stat +2. Say, that doesn't work for me. Respect +3. Every time you tolerate discomfort instead of smoothing it, you gain experience. No music, no aura, no cinematic lighting, just incremental change. Jinwoo didn't jump from E rank to Monarch in one episode. He leveled up in silence. So will you. People don't defer to comfort. They defer to clarity. Look at any group dynamic. There's always one person who never pushes back. They're liked, included, but no one asks them what to do. Now, think about the person who calmly says, that doesn't work for me. Not loud, not angry, just firm. Everyone recalculates. Because now there's consequence. If ignoring you changes nothing, people ignore you. If overriding you costs nothing, people override you. Not because they're villains, but because they're efficient. Human beings follow the path of least resistance. If that path is you, congratulations. You're now the path. Later in the series, Jinwoo walks into rooms differently. Same height, same voice, but something changed. He doesn't explain himself anymore. He doesn't rush. He doesn't overcompensate. When someone questions him, he answers once. Then he stops, and the silence stretches, and no one interrupts. That's not fear. That's recalibration. People adjust their tone around him because he stopped adjusting his tone around them. He didn't get louder. He became harder to move. That's gravity. And let's clear something up. Being agreeable is not the same as being kind. Kindness is honest. Agreeableness is strategic. Kindness says, I respect you enough to tell the truth. Agreeable says, I'll shrink so you stay comfortable. Those are not the same thing. One builds respect. The other builds quiet frustration. If you sacrifice clarity for likability, you end up liked, but not valued, and there's a difference. Here's what hurts more. Every time you swallow a no, you teach yourself your no doesn't matter. Every time you override your instinct, you chip away at your own voice. You start second-guessing everything. Replaying conversations, editing texts, measuring tone. You hesitate before speaking. You wonder if you're too much or not enough. That's not random anxiety. That's self-trust erosion. And it doesn't happen in explosions. It happens in tiny edits. Early Jinwoo survived by being useful. Later, he became necessary. Useful gets included. Necessary changes outcomes. If losing you changes nothing, you stay optional. Optional feels like invisibility. You don't crash, you plateau. Safe, stable, stuck. And fine is how people stay stuck for 10 years. So what now? You don't fix this by becoming louder. You don't fix this by arguing more. You don't need to become a podcast bro overnight. Relax. You fix it by becoming steady. Next time someone interrupts you, finish your sentence calmly. Next time you disagree, say it once. Clean, no apology tour. Next time you feel that spike, don't rush to smooth it. Let it sit 5 seconds. That silence, that's weight forming. You don't need aggression, you need gravity. Scenario 1, someone interrupts you. Old pattern, you stop. You smile, you surrender the floor. New pattern, let me finish. Not louder, not angry, just steady. Scenario 2, someone assigns you extra work because you're good at it. Old pattern, sure, no problem. New pattern, I can take that on. What should I deprioritize? You didn't refuse, you introduced consequence. Scenario 3, someone makes a joke at your expense. Old pattern, you laugh along. New pattern, eye contact, half smile, no. Silence, you don't need a comeback, you need a boundary. You're not trying to dominate the room. You're trying to stop disappearing in it. And yes, it will feel awkward. Good. Awkward means you're rewriting muscle memory. You feel invisible, but invisibility isn't destiny. It's conditioning. Early Jinwoo survived by kneeling, by accepting the lowest rank, by saying, I'm used to it. Later, he stopped. He stood, not louder, not angrier, just unwilling to shrink anymore. He didn't shout. He didn't beg. He stopped explaining himself, and the world adjusted. There's a moment later in the series where he says one word, arise, and the shadows answer. But that moment didn't happen because he demanded power. It happened because he earned presence. One dungeon at a time, one level at a time. One uncomfortable decision at a time. That's the part people skip. They want the command, but they don't want the grind. You don't need to be loud, fake, or aggressive. You don't need to dominate rooms. You need to stop kneeling in them. Because invisibility isn't fate, it's reinforcement. And reinforcement can be reversed. That's not motivation, that's math. Stop being easy to ignore. Level up quietly.